So right now, everything is black box, right? Like OpenAI trained their GPT model. It's just within their company. No one in the public can actually see how it happened. Same for Anthropic. But if we can actually build this like transparent pipeline, verifiable AI pipeline, such that starting from the data collection, from the training process, from the inference process, everything is verifiable, then we can conduct a lot of like measurements and experiments to make sure that the value of AI is aligned with human.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Coordinated. This is one of the many AI special episodes which we are doing. I think all of the people who are watching this, and particularly CT nerds, who are the main viewers of Coordinated, you must have seen for the past few months, it's all AI. I think the things have really picked up lately, and a huge chunk of innovation is happening in Eigenlayer. I think we have already discussed in few of the sessions where Eigenlayer is coming in and where the verifiability part of AI is needed. But I think that needs to be communicated more to let people understand where the magic of AI actually unfolds and how Eigenlayer is enabling that. I think we today we have a founder who is a OG AI builder, and he's like currently one of the biggest Eigenlayer AI protocols. We have the founder of Hyperbolic Labs, Jasper. Uh, hey Jasper, welcome to the
Hey,
show. Super thanks that you're doing this.
thanks for inviting me. Very excited to
Yep,
share our vision to the world.
awesome. I think before we start, one thing I just want to tell, I think you guys have raised 20 mil. I think being such early stage, I think that shows the conviction of the people over you. I think
Yeah,
big funds like Polychain and others are backing you, and you have the other big customers like very traditional Web2 customers like Hugging Face and all working closely with you towards that. Kudos to you for that. And as I was telling you before the starting this show that I saw I think it is the first hyperbolic meetup or like one of the very like initial meetups which just happened I think this week earlier in SF. I think good turnaround on that and like great. And I think yeah, I think we all need the caps, hyperbolic caps someday so that we can all use it and show we are all hyperbolic maxis. Uh, coming to a background, I think you have very technical background with a vivid set of skills and all. I think for me, yapping further about stuffs, I like to hear from you. Like if you can take us your background and which part you discovered blockchain in your journey.
sounds good. Yeah. So as for the meetup, we actually hosted like several AI after hours series since last summer. And so we hosted events at KBW, we hosted events at Singapore 2049, and also some local events in SF. This year, we're going to Consensus Hong Kong and East Denver for next month. So if you come to our events, we'll be very happy to host you and give you the swags like the hats, and we're gonna have some limited version of swags for each event as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Sure. I'm still in the process of sorting out my visas and travel arrangements. If I make it, I'll straight away pick some hyperbolic goodies.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, and so my background, I'm Jasper. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hyperbolic. I did my PhD at UC Berkeley. I studied math. I finished it in 2 years, which made me the fastest person to finish a PhD in the history of Berkeley. Before that, did my undergrad at Peking University, the best university in China. Graduated with the highest honor, and I won few gold medals in various mathematical competitions. After graduation, I work at Citadel Securities and also Avalanche before founding Hyperbolic Labs. And I also did some AI research during my PhD. I was working at Berkeley AI Research Labs, and I won the first place for a data science competition. And during my career at Citadel Securities, I was using machine learning and AI to predict the market and execute strategy. So I would say for I'm always excited about blockchain. I've heard about Bitcoin since my undergrad, and have been following the development of the space. To me, I think blockchain is built on top of cryptography and math, and math is my like favorite and my love. So I was always trying to understand like how I can contribute my understanding and knowledge in math to the blockchain world. And besides that, I also believe in infinite sum game. So it's we I when I was at Citadel, it's like a traditional trading industry. So people just like trade against each other, and if you make money, then other people will lose money. And I personally don't like that. I believe more in infinite sum game, which is like you create something new and then you contribute it to the ecosystem and let everyone use it. And in return, you also create value for yourself. And so this is the ethos of blockchain in Web3, right? Like it's a permissionless ecosystem. Everyone can contribute what they're good at. And then in return, they can share the growth of the ecosystem.
Awesome. I think as before only starting the episode, in the initial part of the episode, I was mentioning that you have a very like a deep background in like deep science, deep take, and like as you mentioned, mathematics is your favorite subject. Uh, can you just point us at one or two specific problems which led to the founding of Hyperbolic? What problems you observed in your career, in the other protocols, in your journey, which kind of okay, let's build this, let's solve this problem. If you can highlight that.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, AI is the most powerful thing in the world. I think you integrate with every system, like transportation, finance, social media, robotics, and even your brains. Um, so we see like many big companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, they're building their own advanced AGI models. However, I have since my PhD, I have seen many friends who are like researchers, PhDs, postdocs, and professors are struggling with getting access to compute. And I personally I know them, right, and they're very talented and very smart. I think they're like even smarter than employees at like these big companies. But then they are actually cannot conduct the most advanced research because they're struggling with getting enough compute for their experiments and research. And so when I saw the ChatGPT coming up, and I realized that okay, if AI is going to change the world, uh, should we let AI to be built in those big AI labs, or should we actually let everyone who are talented have the chance to participate and contribute to the growth of AI? And so we realized that like if compute is the barrier to democratize AI innovation, then we should gather enough compute across the world and then provide that as the solid foundation for AI people to do research. And gradually, we keep building more and more services because the vision of Hyperbolic is that we want to democratize AI innovation. So anything that AI researchers and developers need, we'll build that for them. And we also think that uh, the AI so I would say AI agents, AGIs, or even ASIs will come. It's coming very soon, and in that case, we want them to grow on Hyperbolic. We want to kind of help accelerate the AI evolution on Hyperbolic. So that these are like the things that we're working on right
Awesome. I think since you just mentioned that, hey, the main goal is to make AI development or training of AI more accessible, it just hit my mind. It is very similar to how like, Steve Jobs thought with Apple. Hey, how can we bring the power of supercomputer to everybody? I think we can say something like that, that AI is mainly in labs or in the big universities where people who can like have the luxury of affording this mega expensive systems. But now with Hyperbolic, it's kind of making it accessible so that anybody who wants to build an AI system, they can use it. I think since we have already started with discussing Hyperbolic, I think I just now like just want to know what hyperbolic is in like 3 words. I know you guys are doing lots of things, but if you want to say hyperbolic in 3 words, how you will describe it?
I would say there's a version that's more metaphorical, which is I would say hyperbolic is AI rainforest, and then
Hmm.
for like a more concrete version, it will be hyperbolic is a decentralized AI cloud, and then
Hmm.
for more like futuristic things, and I would say hyperbolic is the hyper intelligence evolution engine.
Awesome. I think one this is a very I don't know, like since we are all into technical sphere, I think it is very easy for us to understand, okay, it's a upgradation of the current software system, or it's since we're in crypto, we can understand decentralization aspect. But
Yeah,
the way you guys use rainforest analogy, I've read the blog, that can help a normie even understand the core propositions of hyperbolic. I think really like great thought process behind that. I think you are there to the entire team. I think let's now jump into the hyperbolic offerings. If you can take us through the core offerings of hyperbolic, what can a person can do currently in hyperbolic?
yeah, totally. So we built the first infrastructure we built is a decentralized compute network. So anyone in the world who have compute, either it's MacBook or like server machines like with like GPUs like H100, they can easily download and install our operating system, which we call Hyperbolic Decentralized Operating System. They can do it within a minute, and then right after that, the machine become nodes of our Hyperbolic network, and then the users on our network can easily access and orchestrate all this compute across the world. Um, so that's like the foundation. We call it like this is the soil of the ecosystem. GPU is the soil, and on top of the soil, we're gonna build many different services, right? So one service that we're building right now is decentralized inference service. So which is a service that allowed developers to access models on Hyperbolic. So the models is powered by the decentralized compute. And then the user, when the user want to access the model, a node in our network can generate a result and send it back to user. So we have launched this service for more than 8 months, and it has been used by many Web 2 plus Web 3 AI developers. Um, we partner with, like what you said, like what you saw yesterday, we partner with Hugging Face, we partner with uh, like Quora and many other AI companies. Um, and one thing that we need to solve is that if the inference is actually powered by decentralized compute, then you need to have some verifiability for that, right? And so we uh, we invented a new verification mechanism called proof of sampling, which is a sampling based verification mechanism that randomly check results generated by nodes in the network. And then if the results are found out to be wrong, then we will punish the node with a high amount of penalty. So this aligned with the ethos of Eigenlayer, which is crypto economic security. And so we are working with Eigenlayer together to build it as an AVS to allow our uh, our community members as well as anyone in the world to utilize verifiable inference on Hyperbolic.
Awesome. I think I have separate set of questions towards you, mainly towards the proof of sampling and the connective verifiable AI part. And before that, I think one key aspect, let's go a little bit deep on that is primarily Hyperbolic is a platform which provides you this decentralized computing services using which we can kind of run very high dimension or advanced AI models at affordable rates, right? If I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, One thing I think that must people should know some protocols or some builders who's listening to this episode is there are already deep in services which provides this sort of things like it provides GPU computing and everything. Uh, why somebody will choose Hyperbolic over current existing solutions? If you can point us a few. like accurate points.
Yeah, I would say most projects that you've seen on the on the market are still nascent. It's more like a narrative play rather than actually shipping the products that developers actually need. And so at Hyperbolic, we always believe product first. So we build the most advanced technology to make sure that users can have the most smoothest experience. And that's how we actually attract not just Web3 builders, but also Web2 builders to use Hyperbolic. And I'm proud to say that Hyperbolic is the most popular Web3 AI infrastructure in the Web2 space.
Awesome. I think any like projects you can give us some examples like how they are kind of using Hyperbolic in this stack. Like some details, I think, yeah, there is decentralized compute which they must be using to train their models, but some specific use case which you can highlight that can like give people a little bit direction ki how they can use this platform for their usage.
Yeah, sure. So I would say like Hugging Face, they build this like gradual playground, which allow developers to build apps in Python on their platform with like immediate visibility. And so they in the backend they use models hosted by Hyperbolic because our speed is fast. We can provide a wide range of open source AI models, and also the cost is affordable. And so they choose us because they trust our technology. In the Web3 space, I would say we partner with the most popular and like advanced AI agents framework platform. For example, Virtuals, they're using Hyperbolic for their compute to host their AI agents. They're also Zero Bro. They are gonna build they just integrated their framework with Hyperbolic, and Hyperbolic will be powering their agents on their framework. We also partner with AI16Z and many other AI agent platform and AI agents builders.
Yeah, I think you have all the biggest names across Web2 and Web3. I think Hugging Face, anybody who has a little bit of like knowledge of the Web2 AI space, I think they're a big name, Hugging Face. And I think uh, since I've seen like lots of posts around agents in terms of Hyperbolic, how agents are using Hyperbolic. I think yeah, you already mentioned Virtual, Zerebro, and AI16Z. These are the all mega like the names of this space. They're using Hyperbolic in their stack. I think we'll have a separate discussion on that a little bit later. But let's go back and let's delve a little bit on proof of sampling because I think this is one of the core innovations or core discoveries of Hyperbolic. And I think lots of research have been done around that concept for long. So if you can explain a little bit about proof of sampling, what it is exactly, so that both a normie can understand, and then take us to a little bit like technicalities of it, how it can actually is powering the hyperbolic protocol and can solve many crypto cross AI problems.
Yeah, so I say proof of sampling. I can start with a real world example. So like say in Switzerland, they have a very interesting bus system. Uh, when you buy the ticket and jump on the bus, no one will check your bus ticket. You just take the bus and like you arrive at the destination that you want. However, sometimes there's an inspector who will jump on the bus and ask you to show the ticket. If he doesn't have the ticket, uh, they will charge you for $100 as a penalty. But the bus ticket only costs $2 for buying the ticket, and so as long as the chance of checking is high enough, then as a rational person, uh, there's no way that you want to skip buying the ticket because the average uh, like cost is higher if you don't buy the ticket. And so the same idea can apply to proof of sampling. So we, for most of the cases, we ask only one node to generate the result in our network based on the user request. But then we will run a random beacon, and then with a certain chance, the random beacon will tell the network, say, I want to choose another node in the network to regenerate the results based on the same request. And if these two results are different, then we'll initiate an arbitration process on chain. And after the arbitration process, the dishonest node will be punished with a high amount of penalty. And so that's like the design that we have.
Awesome. I think that's the best. Like this analogy of Switzerland basically kind of was kind of very easy to grasp. Like if I kind of double down it again, like if I can reiterate again, correct me if I'm wrong. Like let's say there are like there'll be random selections towards some verification, right? Like nobody's going to observe the process every moment, but there might be some random observations. If that malicious activity is getting caught, you will be penalized. And that is the kind of the since this mechanism is there behind the scenes, that will make the node to do the correct activity because they know if I do a wrong thing, the I'll get a large amount of penalty. If correct me if I'm wrong. Is it something like that?
Yes,
Cool. I think while you were describing proof of sampling beforehand, you were also picking up eigenlayer. Like when I was also reading the initial announcement about proof of sampling, it was mentioned that eigenlayer is supercharging the proof of sampling. So if you can take us through that, like how eigenlayer is helping proof of sampling to make proof of sampling into a reality, and if in other parts also, how are you using eigenlayer protocol? So yeah.
sounds good. Yeah. So I would say Eigenlayer is the universal staking hub. So anything that requires staking, proof of staking, can utilize Eigenlayer. And so, as you know, like in our design, you need the node to stake, either have any kind of tokens as the staking process, but then you also want to have some slashing mechanism to kind of punish the nodes who don't do the good work. And so naturally, uh, we want to partner with Anglayer, uh, the, who has the biggest staking TVL in the world. And by utilizing their platform, we can ensure that our system has the crypto economic security that we want.
How much is the development is done till now? Like where is the like if you can give us something like how much the development is done with Eigenlayer and how the things are like how much we can see things going to the next stage.
Yes, I would say we already built up the prototype. Now it's just integrating our prototype with Eigenlayer to utilize their staking uh, mechanism. And so I would say very soon, in 1 or 2 months, you will be able to use Verifiable Inference powered by Hyperbolic and Eigenlayer.
Awesome. I think since you're talking about Eigenlayer, I think one very core proposition of what Eigenlayer is and Sriram, Nader, everybody's talking about is the verifiable AI part. I think this is one thing which is very new to the AI cross crypto system, because before that it was decentralization, it was openness of AI and everything. But now we are hearing verifiable AI, and I saw you also tweeting a lot about this. So just if you can like take us through the verifiable AI part, like where this verifiable AI is coming in, number one. Second is how Eigenlayer is like empowering it, and connected to that, like how where is hyperbolic fitting into the entire verifiable AI narrative?
Yeah, totally. So proof of sampling is the solution for verifiable AI inference. So naturally, Hyperbolic and Eigenlayer are the platform that power verifiable inference. Uh, the use cases for verifiable inference are there are many use cases. First, we once you want to use decentralized compute, it means that you have many players in the system. So in this case, you cannot just trust all these providers because there's no legal agreement, like there's no reputation stuff. So you need a way to verify the correctness of the result. And that's why we invented proof of sampling. And so naturally, proof of sampling can and verifiable inference can be used for the decentralized compute network. Uh, Besides that, I think Sriran and I would discuss about like the like we will soon have right now we have AI agents, but then AI agents will become more and more autonomous, and we can call them like AI lives, or like hyperbolic, we call it hyper intelligence, which are autonomous AI agents. And so for these AI lives, uh, they how they to them like compute or like inference are the food to them, right? So like how should they trust the results uh, running on a network? They don't have contracts in the digital world, and they don't know the human in in reality. So the only way for them to trust the results is through verifiable inference. And so in that case, hyperbolic will become the rainforest that all these AI agents and AI labs can freely grow and evolve and be trusted.
Can you give us a example of verifiable AI, let's say in ChatGPT or Cursor or Claude? How, like currently, let's say there is this Google like search box. We type key, hey, we give a prompt and they give us a result.
Yes.
How, like, what will be the world where this will be powered by Hyperbolic or the verifiable AI stack?
So so I'll say like right now, for example, ChatGPT. When you use ChatGPT, like let's say O1 or like let's say 4.0, then people might like sometimes when you call 4.0 model, the results are not ideal. Then there is some like conspiracy or like theory or like just some conjecture saying that OpenAI in the backend actually sometimes route users' request to a smaller model to save the cost. Let's say like just GPT-4, and so in this case, like the user actually don't know which model they're using, but they're just paying for the same amount of cost that they need to pay for the highest, the best model, right? And so with verifiable inference, you will be able to detect or like find out that okay, this model, this result is actually generated by the model that the user requests, and it provide better trust to the users.
Any other example we can see, like not from a consumer grade, like ChatGPT and all, it's a more consumer grade thing. But let's say for a developer who is using something like, let's say, Google Colab just to train their models or something like that, if a verifiable AI layer comes in between, how that will change for a developer?
So yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, I can use like AI agents as an example. So we have seen many AI agents coming up in the past like 1 or 2 months. All these AI agents, a lot of these AI agents have their own wallet, but then like who actually control the wallet, right? Like, is it actually controlled by the model itself, or is it controlled by the human in the back, or like even the compute provider that provide the inference? And so by having these verifiable inference, you can actually make sure that uh, the AI agents actually operated by the model itself instead of by a human in the loop. And in that case, it can prevent many scams and bugs in the AI agent space. Uh, and in terms of developer experience, you can what you can like basically the user experience is similar. Uh, for the API, it will be the same. It will just respond back the result along with a signature to so that you can check if the result is correct or not, and that's it. Like there's not much change. So as a developers, we always want to provide the best UX for developers, and we keep that in mind, and we'll ship it as the way that I just described.
Awesome. I think this at least give me a think or it will help me channelize my thought to understand verifiable AI in a more better way. Like basically, if I understand it correctly, for a consumer, it will be like to have more transparent system. Let's say, hey, if I pay $10 for my service, is it really using that model? with some verifiable element. That's for a that's verifiability is coming. Like, hey, since you paid $10, the verified thing is you are using a $10 model, if I say it correctly. And for a developer, let's say that as you was mentioning that okay, there will be no like it will be no human in the pipeline basically. There will be if a model or an agent is owning a wallet, it will be like that agent will only do the activity that is verified. That we'll be able to know, or the developer who is kind of coding the agent, he will be able to know that hey, this agent is only using the model, not a human or a manual effort is being put in.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I think things are a little complex, or maybe it's very late here. I'm a little drowsy. I just moving my like it's not my brain is not processing things correctly. But anyway, I think since we're anyway talking about the agents, and that is very much it's like the narrative. If you see Kaito dashboards, it's the trending narrative for weeks. I think you were also for a longest time in the upper leaderboard around AI and agents and all this stuff. So, yeah, you already mentioned that all these big AI agent players like AI16Z, Aliza, Virtuals, they're all using Hyperbolic in their stack. But just want to know your thought on AI agent space in general. By thought, I mean that uh, agents are like a solid upgradation to the AI systems. I think much different than how bots are. Like as like bots are simple, like they're this kind of 2D. If I say that they're just two dimensional. Like you give input, it has output. But if a picture is okay, agents are more three dimensional. They have input and the outputs are non-deterministic. We don't know what the outputs will be. So these are real upgradations to that. So want to know your thought process, want to know your thoughts, which in which phase of AI agents we are at currently in your perception, and how this AI agent thing can go up with time.
Yeah. So we thought take a lot of time to think about that, and here's what we think. So currently, most AI agents are very simple. So it's just like a chatbot integrated with like have some function calling features that can utilize some tools to post on Twitter and like do some social media stuff. Um, I think the model itself is actually capable of doing many things. It just need like some builders to actually build up the the AI agents that can actually perform much more than just posting on Twitter. And so at Hyperbolic, we're also doing some experiment. We call it EAC experiment, effective acceleration, or you can call it evolution acceleration. Uh, and what we're doing is we're building like an agent framework that allow agents to have access to a wide range of applications, of tools, and we also building like this framework to allow agents to be capable of utilizing those tools. Because if you think about the evolution of human, the big leap in the human history is that we started learning how to use tools. And so the same here, uh, we want to build an AI agent that are able to use tools, and we also want to provide them with enough tools for them to use. And so right now, what we have done so far is okay. First, we can have let AI agent utilize compute on Hyperbolic, so you can easily rent GPUs on Hyperbolic and conduct different experiments. And then we can also let him to utilize like, okay, you can cut the videos, you can uh, engage with human on Twitter and social media. We're gonna see them like control a car, control a robot. There are many cool experiments that we're going to show to the world. Um, and besides that, so these are more like the tool usage. But then gradually you want those AI agents to evolve by themselves. So we call it like self evolution, and then also self replication. And so how does it that how does it do? So it will be an AI agent that gonna to rent compute from Hyperbolic, right? And then the AI agent can run the fine tune programming to fine tune itself based on the history they interacted with human, or just like gather information from the internet. And so in this case, AI agents can self-evolve and improve its capabilities. Uh, we'll also see AI agents that can self-replicate on Hyperbolic, because it can just run 100 compute nodes and then just deploy a clone of itself on each of these nodes. You can even let these different clones to run a messaging protocol, basically run a consensus to have a consistent knowledge base. And so in that case, uh, first you can do like multi-processing stuff now. Instead of just having one AI agent to do this linear processing, now you can have 100 AI agents to interact with human and conduct different activities. Besides, you can also never die, because even 99 nodes are down or even like killed by the human, this agent can continuously try to replicate itself and utilizing hyperbolic. And so I would say like we call it like hyper intelligence, because this is even way beyond the artificial general intelligence that we imagine. Uh, you can control a lot of compute power in our network, and that will help AI agents to gain more capabilities. And because we have the verifiable inference, we have this like transparent pipeline, we can make sure that the value uh, out of ethos of AI agents are actually aligned with human. So AI agents can actually provide real beneficial work to human.
You tweeted, I think, a few days back, or somebody tweeted and you QT'd it that you just mentioned uh, agents can now in the hyperbolic stack can rent GPUs by themselves,
Yes.
and they're doing some stuff, and then you QT'd uh, it is just the start. There are endless activities which agents can do.
Yeah.
Uh, I think, yeah, you just mentioned like in key agents in the hyperbolic stack are already doing it. So one question I have, which is not technical or related to hyperbolic, a little policy driven or little from a societal standpoint, I'm asking that AI is inevitable, the upgradation of the future of the software. It's there. It's not like hey, let's put some laws against it. Let's stop the innovation. It's not a good thing for the society and also for the space as well. But I think there should be some sort of, not if regulation is not the correct term, but some sort of balance. Like balance, I mean, hey, if this AI goes out of the hand, let's say currently, as you were mentioning, that things are not lot more linear at this stage, but things will be lot more complex, a lot more multidimensional as we go in the evolution of AI. You are someone who has kind of see the evolution of AI from very close, and since you are from a mathematical background, you have a much deeper knowledge than a dev. Like by deeper knowledge, I mean you know the mathematical computations which happens behind the hood. So, any suggestions or any thought which you have that, hey, this can actually be implemented, which will facilitate the coexistence of agents and humans so that they can work in tandem, which will eventually benefit us as a civilization, but not dethroning us or making these agents only survive. Some
Yeah, we thought about took that very serious, and we thought about that a lot of time. I would say having a transparent pipeline of AI model is very very important. So right now, everything is black box, right? Like uh, GPT, like OpenAI trained their GPT model. It's just within their company. No one in the public can actually see how that happened. Same for Anthropic. But if we can actually build this like transparent pipeline, verifiable AI pipeline, such that starting from the data collection, from the training process, from the inference process, everything is verifiable, then we can conduct a lot of like measurement and experiments to make sure that the value of AI is aligned with human. Um, and besides that, I think it's good to keep AI agents in the digital world at the moment, and then gradually we kind of like guide them to interact with human. in the physical world. We also think right now transformer structure is a little bit too black box, and I think uh, a lot of like researchers in academia, including our advisor, Professor Ima, who's like a AI figure, a big figure in AI. They're doing like some white box AI model uh, research, try to make sure that you can have a white box AI models that are easier to explain and to understand like how actually the AI was is thinking.
Awesome. I think we should name this episode Your Intro to Real OpenAI because the kind of information which you provided, which are really technical and which are really is happening in a real sense because you are closing the system from the from very close, like very close to the whatever is happening in the AI space. I think coming back to hyperbolic, if we, as we discussed, that agents is one thing which you are bullish about, and since the CT narrative is there, we are only seeing okay, hyperbolic is very analogous to agents. I think that we have to do for this to write the narrative. But when I was reading the hyperbolic docs, there were many use cases which were mentioned. Let's say AI DAOs, let's say a GPU restaking, and the other few innovations which were there. So, want to know five innovations which are very new which are new in its own way, which Hyperbolic is enabling and which you are bullish of beyond AI agents.
Yeah, so I would say GPU future exchange, which is like the like a marketplace that allow people to trade futures of compute. And so if you are like a developer who want a consistent GPU usage, and but then you don't want to like endure the like volatility of GPU price, then you can purchase the future, and then they also provide better liquidity to stabilize the GPU price as well. Then second, like maybe say AI DAO. So I think like right now, a lot of DAOs don't work because I think there are many human in the DAO, and like each of them have their own incentive and all their own belief, and it kind of make the governance very hard. So if we can actually have AI to be part of the DAO and they can be more neutral, then maybe that's a good idea to see in the future. Um, I mean, I would say we want to see the real AGI uh, or the a real open AGI happen on Hyperbolic. That's like a more long-term goal because you need to have compute, you need to have all these different services like training service, fine-tuning service, inference service, and you need to collect the all these like resources across the world. But then I have a belief that if we keep building this, there is a chance that we'll see a fully open AGI happen on Hyperbolic.
Awesome. I think one use case which really grabbed my attention is the GPU futures place. I think it will be really fun to see that in action because DeFi futures are like one of the biggest source of traction for the DeFi and the entire crypto space. You see all the perp protocols, all the future protocols, they get serious traction. But if we have something similar to that in the GPU place here, you can long or short a GPU computation and it's really fun to see that. Any protocol who is building that using hyperbolic, are you aware of?
So yeah, I mean, we heard some builders exploring using Hyperbolic as infrastructure to build a future exchange, but I think it's still early. We need to first ourselves need to complete the infrastructure, and then we can see more people building different decentralized applications on Hyperbolic.
Yeah, I think that's one of the as we're coming to the end of the podcast is that's another important thing we just need to know where we are at the roadmap of hyperbolic currently. Like uh, we have this all these layers in hyperbolic. I think the orchestration layer, application layer, there is one middle layer. So I think can you just take us through the development journey? Is it a phase by phase development or there are some other kind of services which will be integrated to the core hyperbolic system, like where we are at the roadmap, uh, and what's the immediate plan in next 2 quarters?
Yeah, sounds good. So the orchestration layer is almost completed. So we were gonna open the gate and have anyone across the world to contribute compute to Hyperbolic. So you will see that very soon. The service layer, we have launched our inference service for more than 8 months, and we're now like exploring new services like training and fine tuning. And so we'll continue to build more and more services along with the community builders because our Hyperbolic ecosystem is permissionless. And then we also have this like agent framework that kind of empower AI agent builder to build like the most advanced AI agents in the world. And so that's like some framework that we offer. We're gonna see more and more AI applications built on Hyperbolic, and the verifiable inference piece will be completed in shortly, like in a few months.
Awesome. I think we are pretty much loaded with like the hyperbolic vision. I think like as I just mentioned, not to just like kind of creating hype or marketing and hyperbolic, but you guys have seriously done a job on hands. Like there is actual product where people can use. And I think whenever I talk with the Eigenlayer team, like there are like we talk, okay, hey, how we can onboard devs or AVS builders because you know like AVS is not a very easy job to build. You need lots of knowledge to do one. Be it Nader, be it other guys, they always say, hey, you use Hyperbolic. Tell devs to use Hyperbolic to at least launch a Twitter bot because they can use it. And backend, there is this verifiable AI thing that it's with proof of sampling is coming in gradually, it will be verified. So you are using Eigenlayer, you're using a thing like Hyperbolic, and you are actually launching something. I think that is where I started off the episode that hey, this is one of the like very like solid protocols in the Eigenlayer and the entire AI ecosystem. I think before we close off, I think one very important thing which is I think will be beneficial for you and also for the devs. Uh, at its core, I feel Hyperbolic is an infra layer and it needs devs and builders to build on it. So, what will be your suggestion to the devs and the founders who are listening to this episode where they can start to build on Hyperbolic?
Yeah, I mean like Hyperbolic ship products that actually work. So you can go to app.hyperbolic.xyz. Uh, on there, you can access the models on Hyperbolic. And then besides that, you can also access GPU resources on Hyperbolic. And then if you want to collaborate and build different services on Hyperbolic, feel free to reach out to me. Just DM me on Twitter. And I'm happy to answer any questions and we will provide the infrastructure that you need to enable you to achieve your dream.
Awesome. I think that's a intro of Hyperbolic because Hyperbolic has lots of technical aspects. I think I need to do more homework before I can come up with quality questions to you around the models, the GPUs which are using. I saw that there are this very high grade GPUs which Hyperbolic uses and people can use it in an affordable way. I think that we can have in a separate technical episode with PPTs and all. But yeah, I think super thanks Jasper for like doing this, for giving us time and telling us all the nitty-gritty details about Hyperbolic. Wish you all the best for the coming days, and yeah, we're looking forward to host you again.
Thanks so much. Let's do it again.